U.S. offers TSMC up to $6.6 billion for Arizona factories. Mozambique ferry accident leaves more than 90 dead. Extreme winds, rain wreak havoc in South Africa. Elon Musk investigated over fake news and obstruction in Brazil. China property giant and its founder accused of $78 billion fraud. Women's college basketball is having a historic moment.
Hello, I'm Wade Lee. Thank you for joining us on Funday News. It is Wednesday, April 10th, and here are your top stories. TSMC Arizona subsidiary is set to receive up to $6.6 billion in U.S. government funding under a preliminary agreement announced by the Biden administration on Monday. According to the non-binding agreement, the funding under the U.S. CHIPS and Science Act will support TSMC's more than $65 billion investment in 3 cutting-edge fabrication plants in Phoenix, Arizona. The Taiwanese multinational semiconductor company is also eligible for around $5 billion in proposed loans under the CHIPS Act.
But on Monday, the Biden administration announced $6.6 billion in funding for the world's top chip maker to build a 3rd facility in the state of Arizona.
Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo said at a news briefing that the agreement was huge, adding that the partnership with TSMC will bring the manufacturing of the world's most advanced chips to American soil. According to Raimondo, the funds will include $50 million to train and develop local talent in Arizona, with TSMC Arizona having already created more than 25,000 jobs and attracted 14 semiconductor suppliers for the state. The CHIPS Act, passed in August 2022, is an almost $53 billion package aimed at building the U.S. domestic chip industry to boost the country's economy. The legislation provides billions in incentives for companies to produce chips in the U.S., on the condition that they do not expand certain semiconductor manufacturing operations in China and other countries deemed a national security risk.
A local media said Monday that a makeshift ferry overcrowded with residents reportedly fleeing a feared cholera outbreak capsized off Mozambique's northern coast, killing at least 98 people, including children. State-run radio Mozambique quoted island administrator as saying that the ferry, with an estimated 130 people aboard, capsized Sunday after it departed the southeastern African nation's coast for the nearby island of Mozambique, and at least 11 people were hospitalized. Most of the dead were recovered Sunday, but an additional 7 bodies were found Monday, bringing the death toll from 91 to 98.
Radio Mozambique reported the Nampula Provincial Authority released a statement attributing the accident to the use of a vessel unsuitable for transporting passengers and overcrowding. Noticias, one of the country's main and oldest newspapers, said the boat ordinarily was used as a fishing vessel and that residents of the town of Lunga were trying to flee what they believed was a flare-up in cases of cholera that the country has suffered in recent months. They wanted to reach the island of Mozambique and departed in a stampede, using boats unsuitable for navigation. The boat capsized before it could reach the island. Authorities in Mozambique and neighboring southern African countries have been trying to contain a deadly cholera outbreak that spread in recent months.
Officials said on Monday that heavy winds, storms, and strong rainfalls battered South Africa's coastal of province Western Cape, which includes Cape Town, have left at least 1 person dead. The severe weather led to the closure of schools and highway, mainly in the Cape Winelands. Overberg and West Coast regions were damaged to houses, roads, and public infrastructure was reported. Official remains on high alert for more extreme weather on Monday. They added that the 1 person who died was a security officer who was patrolling on a bike when a tree that was uprooted by heavy winds fell on him.
According to a local representative, heavy winds also fanned wildfires in the Glencairn area in Cape Town, where at least 8 houses were gutted. By Monday afternoon, some parts of the city of Cape Town were without electricity because of power outages. Western Cape Premier Alan Winda said that the provincial government deployed emergency services. He said, "We appeal to everyone to please exercise extreme caution and avoid unnecessary travel," adding that at least 26 schools had suffered weather-related damages across the province. The South African Weather Services issued a high warning for the Western Cape area, also citing extreme conditions and possible flooding in other parts of the country, including the coastal province of KwaZulu-Natal and the populous province of Gauteng, which includes Johannesburg.
A crusading Brazilian Supreme Court justice included Elon Musk as a target in an ongoing investigation over the dissemination of fake news and opened a separate investigation late Sunday into the executive for alleged obstruction. In his decision, Justice Alexandre de Moraes noted that Musk on Saturday began waging a public disinformation campaign regarding the top court's actions, and that Musk continued the following day, most notably with comments that his social media company X would cease to comply with the court's order to block certain accounts.
According to the text of the decision, Musk will be investigated for alleged intentional criminal instrumentalization of X as part of an investigation into a network of people known as digital militias who allegedly spread defamatory fake news and threats against Supreme Court justices. The new investigation will look into whether Musk engaged in obstruction, criminal organization, and incitement. Musk has not commented on X about the latest development as of late Sunday. Brazil's political right has long characterized de Moraes' overstepping his bounds to clamp down on free speech and engage in political persecution. In the digital militias investigation, lawmakers from former President Jair Bolsonaro's circle have been imprisoned and his supporters' homes raided. Bolsonaro himself became a target of the investigation in 2021.
Struggling Chinese property giant Evergrande and its founder Hui Ka-yen have been accused of inflating revenues by $78 billion in the 2 years before the firm defaulted on its debt. The country's financial market regulator has fined the company's mainland business, Henda Real Estate, $583.5 million. Mr. Hui also faces being banned for life from China's financial markets. In January, Evergrande was ordered to liquidate by a Hong Kong court. The China Securities Regulatory Commission laid much of the blame on Mr. Hui, who was once China's richest man, for allegedly instructing staff to falsely inflate Henda's annual result in 2019 and 2020.
According to a filing by the company to the Shenzhen and Shanghai stock exchanges, Mr. Wei was also fined $6.5 million. Last September, Mr. Wei, who is also the company's chairman, was put under police surveillance as he was investigated over suspected illegal crimes. Evergrande has been the poster child of China's real estate crisis with more than $300 billion in debt. Liquidators have been appointed to look at Evergrande's overall financial position and identify potential restructuring strategies. That could include seizing and selling off assets so that the proceeds can be used to repay outstanding debts. Problems in China's property market are having a major impact as the sector accounts for around a third of the world's second-largest economy.
While the 2023-2024 women's college basketball season may be over, the rise in interest in the sports is just beginning. Women's basketball had a record-breaking year in ticket sales, increased viewerships, and even more names, image, and likeness, or NIL, deals this past year. All 5 power conferences reported high ticket sales this season ahead of March Madness. According to Vivid Seats, a ticket resale company, the University of Iowa alone has seen a 162% increase in average ticket sale prices from last season. Much of that is due to Iowa's star player, Caitlin Clark, and her NCAA record-breaking scoring this past season.
The intense matchups between Clark and Louisiana State University star Angel Reese, and the highly anticipated return of star opposing players like Paige Bueckers, University of Connecticut, and Camila Cardozo, University of South Carolina. The Final Four matchup between UConn and Iowa on April 5 garnered 14.2 million viewers, peaking at 17 million views, breaking ESPN viewership records then. 2 days later, the NCAA women's basketball final between Iowa and South Carolina garnered 18.7 million viewers, peaking at 24 million and becoming the most watched women's college basketball game ever. Women have defined the narrative around women in sports in recent years, with women athletes defying critics by proving themselves competitive, exciting, and marketable.
The answer for yesterday is D, supplemented. The book has been supplemented with new material. Did you answer correctly? Now let's delve into the news of Elon Musk investigated over fake news and obstruction in Brazil. Number 1, ongoing, 持续进行的. The police investigation is ongoing. Number 2, allegedly, 声称的，被断言的. His van allegedly struck the two as they were crossing a street. Number 3, characterize, 使点点点具有特点. The city is characterized by tall modern buildings in steel and glass. Next, we have a multiple choice question for everyone to practice. Which answer would you choose? You can write your answer in the comment section. The correct answer will be announced tomorrow. And that's it for today's Funday news. Be sure to tune into Funday news from Monday to Friday and click the link below to join Funday for free. I'm Wei Li, your host. I'll see you next time.